everyone, it's Laura, and today I'm here to talk to you about my small list of reading goals I have for 2025. The first one is I am choosing to set my reading goal for the year on Goodreads at 75 books. Now, based on what I've read since I started filming these videos back in August and I've gotten back into reading, that should be an easy goal. If you do the math, that is 6.25 books a month. But I am a huge mood reader and I am prone to slumps. So I want to give myself the wiggle room and not allow myself to make reading a chore, because I'm very motivated by goals, but I am also easily discouraged. So I like making lists, and if I can cross things off, that does help. So having 75 books as a goal, I feel is doable. And if I reach it early enough in the year, maybe I can expand that reading goal, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself at the start of the year. So my reading goal for the entire year is 75 books, and that makes me excited. My second goal is to bring my physical TBR down to about 75 books. And ideally, I would like it to be less than that. And so again, I kind of hope I can overshoot that number. But the fact that I already have 3 other books pre-ordered, and I just filmed a video where I went through every single book on my physical TBR, and it came out to a number of 136. That means that I have to read 61 books to get to 75. And then with the 3 new books that I've already pre-ordered, that is bumped up. So that is quite a large goal. So we shall see. But on this goal, I'm choosing to try more for the stretch goal. Ultimately, if I get the number under 100, I think I will be satisfied. But I really do hope to get a handle on my physical TBR and be more mindful about what I'm bringing into my living space, and not be so impulsive and just buy things because they sound interesting. So this also kind of goes hand in hand with the third goal, which is to utilize my library more. I finally broke down and got my official library card last week. I've mainly been putting it off because the library is located downtown, and while I don't consider myself an overly anxious person, certain scenarios make me really anxious. And parking downtown during the week in daytime hours when the library is open really made me anxious. And I just kind of kept putting it off when I didn't feel a need to go and make it a priority. Well, with my current feud with Everend and getting rid of that, I really needed a library card in order to gain access to Hoopla and Libby. And so I could only register so far online. I had to go down to the library to complete the process. So I did that. So I hope to utilize the library both for the audiobooks and then also just to be more mindful. And if a book sounds very interesting to me, I hope to read it from the library first before I decide whether or not to purchase it for my shelves. And I'm hoping this will also help drive down any book purchases I may be tempted to make in 2025 and kind of cut them off at the knees. So that way I'm making sure that I'm very mindful and spending less money and only buying books that I truly know that I love and that will have a spot on my shelf, and it won't be a revolving door of books I bring in, read, kind of don't really like that much, and then donate or get rid of them or have to go through the trouble of figuring out what to do with them after the fact. And my fourth and final, for now, goal of 2025 is to just expand the genres that I read, because I am very interested in a lot of different things. I have been focusing mostly on fantasy and romance since I've gotten back into reading this year, and those still are the 2 genres that I am most intrigued about. But I used to love sci-fi. I tend to be a little more picky with sci-fi books, but I'm very eager to get back into that. There are nonfiction books that I would like to expand my knowledge. I've been out of school for quite a while at this point, and I still want to challenge my brain in other ways than just reading high fantasy. I want to learn new things, and I want to read about different experiences. And while I'm not a big celebrity memoir or biography person, there are other stories, and there's other books that are more educational based about certain topics that I'm very curious about. There's also just general literature. I would like to read some classics again, but I will be honest, I'm not a huge classic person. Similar to sci-fi, I'm extremely picky about what classics seem interesting to me. So I'm hoping to expand my repertoire because I read a lot of classics in school, but then some of the big ones I also felt like I missed out on. So I'm hoping to go more into that. Then there's just more modern classics and literary fiction. I believe I still have some of those on my shelf. Some of them are literary fiction. So as I read down my physical TBR, I will naturally be reading more from those genres. I'm not a horror person. Mystery thriller, that genre also interests me. I mean, heck, I basically, in middle school, I read through every Nancy Drew book my school library had. So I know Agatha Christie's a huge name, and I know certain people like Leanne from Literary Diversions has basically a whole shrine of Agatha Christie books. I believe Meg with Books also is a big Agatha Christie person. There's a few other booktubers I can't remember off the top of my head. So maybe I'll be able to get into some Agatha Christie books and see what I think of that. And my mom actually back in the day used to be a huge Agatha Christie person. So who knows? Also, I believe there are a few Stephen King books. I'm not a huge horror person, but there are a few Stephen King books that interest me. I've read Carrie. That's the only book by him I've read. A lot of his backlog doesn't really interest me, but there are a few that I'm intrigued by. And then thrillers, as long as they're not too gory or bloody, I'm intrigued by mysteries, and I like suspenseful things and kind of whodunits, or I'm more than willing to give those genres a try. Again, I think it will be really just based on the plot, and we'll see. And who knows, my opinions or what I think I like right now could be very wrong. And at the end of 2025, I will be like, no, I tried this genre, didn't like it. I tried this genre, didn't like it. But at least I'll give it a shot. Initially, I had also thought about trying to see if there was an in-person book club that I could join. But I honestly don't know if that type of thing is for me, because when I looked at my local library and one of the local bookstores and the books they had picked, none of them sound interesting to me. So unless it was actually a group of friends or something that I had a say in helping pick the book, I think that an in-person book club is just not in my cards anytime soon, which is kind of unfortunate. But I will still do my best, and maybe I will find a book club online somewhere that I can join. My only other goals are kind of based on this channel. I'm doing this just because I want to, and I'm hoping to find good book recommendations, because I watch a lot of booktubers, and none of them super consistently, and none of them seem to share my same exact taste. I like Kayla from Books and Lala, but our tastes rarely overlap. I like Jesse the Reader, again, because he's like a great quirky personality, and some of our tastes overlap, but not all of them. I haven't found a booktuber yet that shares all of my tastes, and some of them that I've been getting into in the last few months, I've watched too few videos to know for sure how much your tastes overlap. And my goal is to just make videos and see if anyone shares similar tastes to mine, and just to share my love of books and reading. And I have no desire to make this a job, so I have no goals for new subscribers or anything like that. I'm just happy making the little videos that I can in my free time, and so there's no goals with anything like that. So for now, those are the goals that I have for 2025, but I am excited in 2025 to try out a few different styles of videos. I basically have just been doing book review videos for anything that I've read here, but there are a few more videos that I'm hoping to make in 2025 to help encourage me to read my physical TBR. I'm thinking of kind of creating a series about my veteran TBR books. by selecting like 3 books that I'm interested in at that moment and reading them, and then kind of doing a summary video, because a lot of those books have been out forever, or they don't seem really popular. I don't hear a lot of people talking about them. I can't imagine dedicated videos for those books going well, but maybe by grouping some of them together, I'll get through my physical TBR faster, and then I will also be less videos, and then it will also be an interesting series to watch for anyone who's interested. I don't know, that's just one idea. Another idea I have is, as I've started filming videos this year, is some of the booktube videos that I have watched by certain booktubers, they've mentioned books that I know are on my physical TBR. And so those have kind of sounded more intriguing or interesting to me, because now I'm curious if I share the same opinion as the booktubers that I just watched read and review the books. So I was thinking of having a little series with that about books I'm reading because of booktubers. And I'll be curious to see how that goes. So those are just a few ideas that I have. We'll see what I actually end up doing, or if someone presents another idea that's more interesting or not. But that's basically all of the goals that I have right now for 2025, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!